Hello, everybody. Good morning, brothers and sisters. How are we all doing? It's good to have you on this platform. You see, because of COVID-19, our work has been up and down. It's either we are in this week or we are out this week. So this period, I took time to visit the internet, the one we call the social media, and I've seen a lot of things happening. I saw a lot of things happening there, and I thought it wise that one should speak about it. You see, the internet is a place where we can do whatever we like, in as much as there are restrictions, but it's also a place where we do whatever we like. But what do you want to do in the internet? It's a question for all of us. What do you want to do? Do you want to impact the life of people in the internet, or you want to bring people down? It's appalling because I have seen a lot of people having problems in the internet, tribal differences, religious differences, family differences. That is not what we should be doing in the internet. Internet, like we Christians will put it, internet is a tool for the devil. It's a tool used by the devil to destroy people. But at the same time, we as Christians have taken it upon ourselves to make the internet useful. So what are you doing in the internet? Are you in the internet to show your nudity? Are you in the internet to insult your brothers and your sisters? Are you in the internet to insult pastors? Are you in the internet to insult even native doctors? Are you in the internet to criticize people? In as much as criticism is good at times, but your criticism should be a constructed one. That is why I took our time to, since I am less busy, because most of the times I think most of the rubbish we see in the internet are mainly done by people who are not really busy, you know. So I took out my time today to say one or two things about what is going on the internet. And I want to make my platform is for the people that are residing here in Deutschland, those ones that have their stay already, their residential permit already, and those ones that are still in the Asylheim. They call them asylum seekers. Those ones that are still in the asylum process. You see, this is a country where everything works. It's a country before you come in. It's like let me give us an example. Before a white man travels out of his country to another country, he must know what he is going to do in that country. He must also know how that country functions. That is why you see they hardly fall victim. But we Africans, when we are coming to where we are coming from, we tend to see that it's very, very bad. So all of us are moving down to Europe for greener pastures. But in as much as we all are moving down to Europe for greener pastures, we should know how the country functions. I might one time or the other be a victim, but I've seen it that it is not right what we do here. This place is not Nigeria. This place is not Africa. They have things working for them. They have set us rules and regulations that works out for them. So when we come in, we should try and abide by these rules and regulations. When we abide by these rules and regulations, you see, we will not be victimized. We will not be victimized. Look at what happened in America recently. Thank God everybody came out. We are calling it racism. But before racism will stop, we that have been targeted, we that are now the victim of racism, we need to Fight for ourselves. This is not time for us to start backbiting our brothers and sisters. This is not time for us to be envious. This is the time for us to join our hands together and fight this issue of racism. Because when we leave it for one man, it is not going to happen. And how do we fight it? We don't just go out there and start rioting or carrying out instrument to fight. No, that is not what I meant. What I mean is that we need to comfort ourselves. Most of us here in Europe, because your brother is doing more than you go to police and report him. You give unnecessary information to the police. How do you think they will look at you? You go to schools, you tell teachers wrong, give them wrong impression about your black brother and your black sister's children. How do you want those white community to look at you? They see that we are not united. That is why they are penetrating us. If we are united, they cannot penetrate us. Back then in Africa, they used to give us example with broomstick. They say when you join broomsticks together, you cannot bend it, you cannot break it. But when they give you a one of those sticks of broom, you easily break it. That is how it is. That is why they are breaking us. Last week it was our black brother in America. Tomorrow it might be you and I here in Deutschland. How do we fight these things? It's by us joining our hands together. Let us stop this. We are not here to compete. We are not here for competition. We are here to make a living. We are not here for competition. Most of us, our parents sold their properties to bring us here. Then when we get down here, we start competing with people. Compete with yourself. Set out goals for yourself. Don't say because brother A is doing this that you should do that. No. Set out goals for your brother A have set out that goal for himself. You should set out goals for yourself. You see, here, like I said, I'm going to narrow my platform, and I will be coming every now and then on the social media to air my opinion on things that are happening. I have a lot in stock for us. At least I've stayed here for close to 10 years now. So I should know what is going on. Even if I don't know all, but I should be able to know what is going on. So like I said, I'll be narrowing my platform to those of us that are staying here in Deutschland, especially the asylum seekers. Because a lot of people in the social media have made it look as if to get a paper here is very difficult, and to get your stay here is very easy. It is not as easy and it is not as difficult as we are saying it. But if only we could stick to the rules of having your residential permit. There are 3 genuine ways of getting your residential permit here in Deutschland. The others are secondary. There are 3 primary ways of getting your residential permit here in Deutschland. The rest are secondary. It is not 100%. It can happen to Mr. A and it will not happen to Mr. B. But these 3 primary ways of getting your residential permit, it happens to everybody and everybody gets their resident. But the secondary, it can happen to Mr. A in Berlin. That same situation, Mr. B in Stuttgart will have such situation, but he will not have his residential permit. You see, before I will go in, I would like to tell you how Germany is being structured. Germany practices what we call federal system of government, in as much as they practice half social system. But German is a federal system of government. That is what they practice. What do I mean? Every state has its laws, rules, and regulations. that is governing the state. What is governing Stuttgart or Baden-Württemberg as a state is not what is governing Hamburg or North Westphalen or Berlin. Different states with different rules and regulations. That is how it is. That is how it works here in Deutschland. Even in the local government, the one we call Landkreis, what is happening in this Landkreis might be different from what is happening in the other Landkreis. A Landkreis might decide to give you a stay based on your responsibility, but the other Landkreis might decide in the same state. So when we are coming, we should ask. You see, asking of question does not cost anything. Ask question. When you ask question, you'll be enlightened. Ask. Go here. Ask. Look for people that have stayed here. Look for people that have gotten their residential permit. Ask them, how does it work? Like these three primary ways of getting paper here in Deutschland have been existing since Deutschland started accepting immigrants. So even somebody that came here in the 80s, somebody that came here in the 90s, somebody that came here early 2000, that same three primary ways of getting paper is still applicable today. And these three ways of getting your paper is: one, by getting married to somebody who has a resident, either man or woman. Two, by having a baby for somebody that has a resident, either man or woman. That is vice versa, applicable to men and applicable to women. But who you are dealing with must be somebody that has a resident. And the third one is the UN stay. This one have to be, it is political. It does not have to do with human violence. A lot of us come from Africa and start telling them we were being maltreated at home, and that is why we came to Europe. That is not a UN standard of getting your resident. If you want to get a UN stay, that means you should be having a political problem back home. Civil war, this female mutilation, gender, like in Nigeria, in the case of Boko Haram. That is why you see a lot of people during the days of Sudan, a lot of people that came from Sudan got their stay. In Liberia, when there was civil war in Liberia, a lot of people that came to this Europe during then many of them got a UN stay. Like Syria, a lot of them that came from Syria are having their UN stay. Why? Because there is a problem in their country. But most of us in Africa, where we do not have this civil war or any other political issues that made us to leave, when we come here, if we give them those stories, it is difficult for us to have a UN. That is why we concentrate on getting married or having a child for somebody who has a resident. These three ways are still tenable till today. But the problem we are facing these days is that a lot of people came here with their wives and kids. You come here with your wife and kids. How do you think you are going to have your stay? Who gave you the orientation? Who did you ask before coming? These are the problems we are facing here today. And my people in social media, a lot of us in social media are misleading these people. It's as if the German government that Nigerians are their target. No, we are not a target. It's just that we are not following we are not following it principally, the normal way it ought to be. There is a process set out for it. If we follow this process genuinely, at the end of the day, you see yourself having your residential permit easily. But we are not following it genuinely. A lot of us, a lot of these asylum seekers came with their wife and children, and when they come here, they start making trouble. Fighting. Let me tell us one thing. Fighting in Deutschland is prohibited. That is why when you go to the street of Deutschland, you don't see people fighting. When you fight, there is a fine for it. Fighting is prohibited. You can have quarrel with somebody, but you don't raise your hand. When you raise your hand, is a problem. To the extent that even when somebody steals your property, for example, I'm walking on the way, somebody takes my phone. If I go after the person and start beating that person, when the government comes for me, I will pay for beating that person. He stole my phone, but I'm still going to pay. So these are the things that we ought to know here, so that we know how it works here. A lot of us still have this African Nigerian mentality. I'm narrowing this into my Nigerian brothers and sisters. We still have this Nigerian mentality where we can do anything we want to do. And you see our country, that is why it is not working for us. Because a lawless country cannot work. There is no progress in any lawless state. Even in your families, if your family is lawless, you see that there won't be any progress. I'm using this smaller society for example. Let's use our husband, wife, maybe 2 kids for example. If we don't set out principles in our home, we will not have progress in that home. Not to talk of a society that is full of people, millions of people. So if there are no set out rules and regulations, that country will be crumbled. That is why you see Nigeria is crumbled. Socially, financially, economic, anyhow, it is crumbled. So this mentality we carried from Nigeria to Europe is affecting most of us. It's affecting our current situation. If we can start all over again, you see things will start working well for us. Even those of us that have gotten our stay, we still have this African mentality in our brain. Yes, I didn't say we should forget about our culture. We are from Africa, we are from Nigeria, we have culture. We have modus operandi, the way of life. But the way of life here is different from the way of life there. So when we come here, if we are still bringing the way of life, the way we do things in Nigeria, if we bring it here, it is going to affect us. Then at the end of the day, we will say it is racism. It is not racism. It is not racism. Imagine you entering a train or a bus. You know you have to buy a ticket. You entered without a ticket and you are being controlled. They control you. They control you in the train. You will say it is racism. Why is it that you are the only person being controlled? You go to the street, you litter the street with whatever you have in your hands. They confront you. You will say it's racism. You have a party in your house. You play the music till 12 a.m. at night. They control you. You will say it's racism. It is our mentality. It is not racism. In as much as racism is here, racism is in all parts of Europe, but it is not loud. But we have made it to become very, very loud. We have a lot of brothers and sisters in the internet that is making this thing too loud. And they are deceiving these young ones. When you support something that is not good, you will never get good thing from it. We are getting old now. Most of the early people that came to Europe are getting old. They are having children. They are starting to have grandchildren. What kind of future do we want to leave for our children? Because once upon a time, we will leave this world. We will leave this Europe. But our children will remain. If we continue behave the way we are behaving, I tell you, it is going to have a very, very drastic effect on our children's children. So the earlier we start behaving well now, the better for our future. A friend of mine called me. He said he's planning of we going into a business like mortgaging, buying of houses, that this is what the Turkish are doing. This is what the Indians are doing. He gave me an example like in Australia. The Indians owns one of the best part of Australia. They have all the properties there. In Germany here, if a black man is going to rent a house, he finds it difficult. Why? Because few blacks owns houses here. But if a Turkish man is going to rent a house, like the area I stay, if a Turkish man is looking for a house to rent, that same day that he sent out his information of looking for a house, he gets a house. Why? Because there are a lot of homes that have been bought by the Turkish. These are the things we should start doing, not we killing ourselves in the internet. And let me tell us one thing. You see, this issue of, how will I put it now? This issue of racial differences we are having on the internet, that the Benis are this, the Yorubas are this, the Igbos are this. This thing is everywhere. It's everywhere. Why do you see it more often? It's because of the people you are having as friends. These miscreants is everywhere. They are everywhere. They are with the Igbos. They are with the Yorubas. They are with the Benis. They are with the Urobos. They are with the Hausas. But we should not use it as a yardstick. Like I said when I started, the internet is a place where you do whatever you want to do. People are making millions from the internet. People are making a living from the internet. How can we? You see, this is what I'm saying. When it comes to Africa, this internet was not even meant for us. Internet has started existing for a long time. When did it get to Africa? These people that owns the internet, they have made good things with the internet. But now that it has become an African affair, we can come to social media anyhow to speak rubbish. What are you speaking? What are you selling? What do you want people to hear? Like I said, I'll be having this talk every now and then to educate us on how to live our life comfortably here in Deutschland. At times I'll be on air with some people that have stayed here for a longer time than I do. We can put our heads together to fashion out a way we can live a better life here in Deutschland. Because what the kind of life we are living now is not going to help the future ones that are coming. Our future children, it is not going to help them. We have to start building for them now. We have to start building for them now. Blacks in Europe, especially like non-English speaking Europe. The blacks there are minorities. But we need to start something from there. We need to start something from there. In as much as we have many differences, many social differences, religious differences, education-wise. But I think if we sit down together, if we put our heads together, we will be able to make something good to our future generation. This is not time to come to social media and to be talking rubbish. I've seen people, instead of you to encourage people, you tend to discourage them. Instead of you to correct them from the wrong they have done, you want to tell them that it is racism. It is not. Correct them for the wrong that they have done. Even if you want to help, correct them first. You don't just come to internet and start selling false information. My platform, I'll be coming every now and then. My platform is mainly for the Aduros, the asylum seeker, and for we Nigerians. So I will be coming every now and then to the KK family platform. Then you can see more of our videos there. So anytime I'm coming on, we will let you know. But how do we let you know? Is only when you subscribe. Subscribe to our channel, and so that when we are coming up, you get notification. So, like I said, we have three major way of, or rather three primary ways of having our stay here in Deutschland. I'm saying this to the, even for us that have gotten the paper, let us not deceive others. These three ways are: if you get married to somebody that has a resident, if you have a baby for somebody that have a resident, or you are being given a UN. Those are the three ways. The others are secondary. This comes maybe with your health, with your work, if you, and with your responsibility. How responsible are you? Some staff will look at you and say, this guy has been so diligent, this guy has been so responsible, this guy, we have never had any issue with him since he came. Because of that, they can give you your stay. But those are secondary. It does not happen often. It is very rare. So let us not deceive these ones that are coming. There is a way these ones that are coming will get their stay, especially these ones that came with their wives and children. They have to be patient. It is by the grace of God. Like I said, you can click on our subscription button, so that when we come online again, you will know when we are coming. So next time I'll be talking more on these Aduro issues. So like I said, subscribe so that you get information that we are coming online, because the next issue I'll be talking on is how to get your stay as an asylum seeker here in Deutschland. I'll be doing this maybe by next week, God willing. So make sure you stay tuned and don't listen to everything everybody is saying. Some of them are in the internet just to constitute nuisance. So if you are new here, ask questions. Ask questions. Even if you are old here, you still have the opportunity of asking questions. Things are not moving well with you. Ask questions. How does this thing work? We learn every day. Every day is education. We learn every day. Don't say because you have been here for 20 years that you don't want to seek for information. What happened 20 years ago is not what is happening now. Seek for information. Information is our life. If we are not well informed, we will be deformed. So let us go for the information. And when you are going for the information, go for the right information. Thank you very much. Till I see you again, God bless you. Thank you very much. Bye.